So we come to the quadratic inequalities. How we categorize the quadratic inequality when you see your x is in power of 2 square. Okay, so when you see your x in power of 2, we didn't move it around already. We didn't move left hand side, right hand side. We didn't do that. What we do is we arrange. I give my step here. We rearrange our quadratic in general form. Start with something square, followed by x, and then followed by c. So it will depend on your situation whether you are greater than 0 or less than 0, or equal to 0 or not equal. Okay, so you meet 0 at the right hand side. Everything move to the left hand side for quadratic rearrange. Alright, then we have to undergo factorize. So we factorize our quadratic. Then we graph our quadratic. We have 3 methods. We have positive normalize, we have table of sign, we have graph. So I prefer one. Instead of many, then cannot do one of it. So we just practice one. So for quadratic, we go for graph because this is the similar things that you learn in Form 5. We don't need to change it. We just enhance it again. Alright. So factorize, then you do your graph. So if you get greater than 0, means it is above your x-axis, positive part. The things above x-axis is positive. If you have less than 0, means negative. So negative, it will be at below x-axis. So this line is x-axis actually. Then you can find your answer. What's your region? So actually when we're doing 2.2, starting from linear, quadratic, or so on later in rational, we are finding a region. So your answer will be in a range from what value to a what value. Adalah satu kawasan, satu julat jawapan. Okay, it's not directly equal. Equal is 2.1 equations. So we look at our example here. Example 20. Find the x for the following inequalities by using graphical method. So the first one. So bear in mind when we're doing quadratic, we arrange. Make sure our quadratic in round arrangement in order, which is start with x squared, then something x, then 5. At this side is 0. At right hand side is 0. Move everything arranged to the left hand side. So then you see your quadratic. It already simplified. It already positive quadratic. We can carry on. Our next step is factorization. Factorize your x. So this one you can use your calculator to help you to find out the value. What's your value you will have? So that you can graph it immediately. Okay, you press your calculator. A equals to 1, B equals to 6, C equals to 5. So you can get your value. X is negative 3 and 2 over 3. So you know that negative 3 is less than 2 over 3, like that. Okay, so what's your factorization here? Now, when you press your calculator, you get negative 1 and negative 5, correct? So we will put the smaller value at left hand side, negative 5, here negative 1. So how's your factorization? You will plus 5, plus 1. Okay, then we're going to find your region. Jawapan di hatiku. Jawapan di kawasan positif. Di manakah jawapan positif? Sini. Above x-axis. So jawapan di sini. Jawapan di sini. So macam mana kita nak tulis jawapan kita? Jawapan kita di sebelah kiri negatif 5. So jawapan kita adalah kurang daripada negatif 5. Lagi sebelah, jawapan tu di sebelah kanan negatif 1. So jawapan ini adalah lebih besar daripada negatif 1. So we can put in set notation. Or we can put in interval. So interval lagi senang. Hujung sini adalah negatif infinity. Hujung sini pergi negatif kan. So sampai sini adalah negatif 5. Include ke tak? Kalau tengok sini tak ada equal, tak include lah. Open bracket. Sambung, sambung union. Another part of the answer here, negative 1 not include, so open bracket to right hand side, right? So you're going positive infinity. So here we give you two kind of example answer, two format of example answer, which is in set notation and interval notation. So this is how we solve our quadratic. Alright, nothing equal, tak ada benda equal keluar. Just arrange, make sure this quadratic is positive and simplify already. Ya dah cantik punya quadratic, terus factorize, tulis lukiskah, catat you punya calculator nilai di sini, terus lakar tempat. Find the region that you want. Alright, so we go for question 2. So question 2 given question 2 given here seems like not in order, not in arrange in order. So you arrange in order, come with something square first, and then x follow a constant 6. Make sure our right hand side is already move everything to the left hand side. Here is 0, because we define more than 0 is positive, less than 0 is negative. We didn't define less than 1 is negative. Okay, less than 1 is not negative because you still have 0.5 there. So everything at the right hand side here must be stated 0. 0 is neutral. So more than that, we find for positive region. Less than that, we find for negative region. So that's why any value at here, we have to move to the left hand side, simplify with quadratic. So that will be our method difference in solving quadratic and linear. Okay, so before we go into factorize, our quadratic must be in positive, because your calculator is calculate for positive quadratic, it's not for negative. Later on, your factorization will not equal back to our negative quadratic here. So what can we do? We divide by negative 1. When you divide by negative 1, it becomes positive quadratic. So same at the term b here, bx, right? So it becomes positive 7, so negative 6. Divide by negative, 3 shy, 0 divide by negative 1, still maintain 0. Everything, divide negative by everything. Then only we go for, then this quadratic ready for factorization. Press your calculator. A is 3. So I always draw the graph senyum, sebab kita sentiasa akan pindah dia kepada positive quadratic. Jangan buat negative quadratic, sebab nanti factorization dia tak akan tally balik kamu punya quadratic. What do you have here? You can meet in your calculator, which is answer of negative 3 and 2 over 3. So negative 3, smaller value at left hand side, bigger value at right hand side. Put it in factorization, x plus 3, 3x minus 2. So this is what I mean. 3x times x, yes, it comes from this quadratic, 3x squared. 3 times 2, negative 6. So your quadratic and your factorization is equivalent. Lastly, find your answer, jawapan D. Jawapan D, greater than 0. Greater than 0, maksudnya jawapan di sini, atas x-axis. Therefore, our answer is less than negative 3, or another part is more than 2 over 3. For question 3. Okay, so for question 3, what we need to do, although we see this is x only, because it haven't extend. After it extend, it comes to x squared, correct? So means this question is testing you on quadratic inequalities. What we need to do, first step, so I do the last review here. First step, rearrange quadratic. Second step, followed by its factorization. Then we draw the graph and find the region. Where's the region you want to find? Alright. Then, okay. So for this, we expand 3x squared minus 15x. Here, 4x squared minus 6. Alright, so when I move this 4 to the left hand side, we get negative x squared. Okay, so this negative 15x maintained. And then this negative 6, when I move it, it becomes plus 6 less than 0. So are these quadratic ready for factorize? Are these quadratic ready for factorize? No. So like the example before, we didn't do factorize on negative quadratic. Yes. 4x. Silap. So salah. Okay. So this is 3x squared minus 19x then plus 6. Okay. So you get 3x squared. This is positive quadratic, correct? And then you can see the coefficient 3, 19, 6 is already the simplest, simplified value. Cannot divide anything already. So this quadratic ready to factorize. And then we can graph our quadratic. What's your value of x here? This is x-axis actually. So this is what's your value of x, your roots. You press your calculator, a equals to 3, b equals to negative 19, c equals to 6. You get 1 over 3 and 6. Is it? 1 over 3. So smaller value at left hand side, 6 bigger value at right hand side. So put in factorization, 3x minus 1, x minus 6. So jawapan di mana? Jawapan di hatiku sini. Yaitu kawasan less than 0, definition is negative region. So your answer is here. So how to write this answer? Negative 3 is less than our answer. Our answer is less than 6. Got equal. Why? Because we follow through the questions. Quadratic, we follow the question because we cannot see this one empty circle or 10 circle. We just see the roots only. So what got equal or not, we see here. So this one we put in set notation or in interval form, 1 over 3, close bracket, 6, close bracket, because we have equal here.